Well, another video game movie to rank and review. And boy, oh boy.
Angelina is looking at me seductively.
Boy,
Hey, baby.
oh boy.
How you doing?
That's the only good thing about this movie, man.
I saw it first.
Let's like we got a chance. Fuck off. No way.
Hey, giant Angelina is looking at me.
Hey, she can act, so maybe she can act like she likes us, you know?
Size comparison wise, I might need to get a scuba suit, you know.
Maybe. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Video Game Movies Ranked and Reviewed. I am your host, as always, TOMYE West, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, ALANNIS Maximus.
Salutations.
And today we are here to do a doozy of a review for you, and that is for Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Now, when I was looking this movie up, I was simply typing in Tomb Raider, and I was having fucking no luck. And then I was like, why am I not finding this movie? And then I fucking typed in Lara Croft, and it came up. And I was like, do we have to be that specific? It's got
I did the exact same thing.
Keywords in it, you know what I mean? Like, what can you do?
And I was obtaining this movie completely legally.
Dude, it's free on Prime.
Really? Ah.
I wasn't
I can see why.
Shit, man. But I also wasn't paying for it. So I was in a conundrum. It was either on a streaming service that I could literally just click a button and go to, or I wasn't watching it. So
Does that mean me watching it illegally is not illegal anymore? Because technically no one's getting paid for that anyway.
Dude, it wouldn't have been illegal to fucking pirate this movie when it first came out because it wasn't worthwhile. It fucking. Anyways, before we get into our thoughts, which there's a lot of them, we're going to get into our overview of this movie, like we do every time. So the overview goes like this: Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Remember, you got to put the whole thing in. Released 2001 with a rating of 15. Like, this isn't even like 12A. You know what I mean? Its runtime is 1 hour and 40 minutes. It has an IMDb rating of 5.7 out of 10. The synopsis goes: video game adventurer Lara Croft comes to life in a movie where she races against time and villains to recover powerful ancient artifacts. Now, this is directed by Simon West, written by Sarah B. Cooper, Mike Werb, and Michael Collery. I think that's how you say his name. Stars Angelina Jolie, John Voight, and fucking 007.
Fuck, what? I looked it up before.
Craig.
Craig Charles. No, not Craig Charles.
Daniel
Craig.
Craig Charles. Who the fuck's Craig Charles?
British comedian.
Alright, so the budget on this movie was fucking hell, they spent a lot of money on this movie. The budget on this movie was $115 million. On its opening weekend, it made $47.7 million. On its, it grossed total worldwide, US and Canada, $131 million, and grossed worldwide $274 million. So it made a decent profit. It's still a fucking giant budget for a movie that definitely doesn't show that it had that kind of budget. But
what about those CG dogs, man, when they're jumping through the time vortex?
How long was that into the movie?
You might not have seen it.
Dude, this movie sucks. Like, I'm going to let you get into your thoughts first, but yeah, just spoiler alert for what I have to say, but this fucking sucks. All right, Alanis, you take it away with your thoughts on this fucking movie.
First thing I kept thinking the whole movie, that it just seemed funny that they had an American woman pulling a questionable British accent and an English dude pulling a very questionable American accent. It made me giggle. It's like, it seems backwards.
Movie, dude, starts off just, it gives you the message straight away of like, you came to see this movie or you're watching this movie and you want to enjoy this movie, well, go fuck yourself, because we're going to have Lara Croft fight a robot. And now, I haven't played every Tomb Raider game through, like, I haven't played majority of the earlier ones. I've only played the remakes and since 2013 or whatever. I may have played one or two here and there, but not far into them. And I was like, look, I'm not going to throw shade because maybe she did fight a robot in one of the games. And I Googled that shit, and there was no video footage on YouTube of her fighting a robot apart from in this movie. That told me my answer, which is she never fought a robot except for in this movie. And that's how this movie starts. And if that's how the movie starts, fuck me, man. I was like, I was out already. I was like, nah, I'll watch it as much as I can. I got through 55 minutes of this movie and I refuse to watch the rest. And listen, this is going to be a common thing. I've done this multiple times. Assassin's Creed, I refuse to continue to watch. I think that that's fine to do with what we're doing with movie reviewing. I don't sit through the whole thing if I don't like the movie enough, because as long as I come in with that being my, like, that's my take on this movie, is that I hated it that much I couldn't sit through it. You know what I mean? Like, I won't do this every movie. Of course, this is like what we do. We review movies. But as long as my, like, you know, intention to come in and be like, listen, I watched as much as I could and it's trash. Like, there are movies that occasionally that happens with, because just because we do this for a podcast doesn't mean I'm going to sit through movies that waste my time to the point of me being, like, ready to jump out my fucking balcony window. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If that's my that's the word I was looking for. If my thesis coming into these episodes is that I couldn't sit through it, that's, I believe, a valid thing I can bring to the review. You know what I mean? And I'm going to also give the movie enough time to at least have an opinion on things and get an idea of the movie, even if I don't like it, you know? So I try to sit through as much as possible. How did you go sitting through it? And how did you like this compared to everything else we've watched so far in video game movies or Angry movies?
I watched it broken up across the day as I was at work in between calls, which I think made it a little bit easier. There are some things I genuinely liked, but they were very small. Like Chris Barry, the butler, he's in a sci-fi series comedy called Red Dwarf. So is Craig Charles. Relevant. And I just enjoy him in anything because he is amusing. So, I mean, I like that. And I don't know. She looks good in tight clothing and shorts.
Dude, these movies, Tomb Raider and shit, these movies pretty much on paper, like, without the script or anything, just the premise, like, these movies are all for me because I really love documentary TV shows and stuff like Expedition Unknown. I like things about ancient Egypt. I like things about lost artifacts like the Amber Room, the Ark of the Covenant, if it was to exist, the Holy Grail. Like, looking for artifacts. Like, dude, Indiana Jones are my favorite movie series of all time. Like, these movies should sort of scratch that itch just with a female perspective and it having the Tomb Raider sort of banner above it. And even with the promise of that being the sort of plot for it, I can't, man. It was garbage. And it's like...
Did you get to the part where for some reason monks in Cambodia have magical healing tea?
I don't know if that was the part before I started looking at my phone and doing other things. Yeah, probably, man. And I probably rolled my eyes at it and then forgot about it immediately. So, like, dude, how did this movie get a sequel? And also, how, like, why is my memory of this movie being like, people were like, it's really good, you got to see Tomb Raider, and that being the reason why we got a sequel? Because this is shit, man.
Teenage boys, because I mean, I'm going to say it right now. I enjoyed this movie a lot more as a mindless, horny, just post-pubescent teenager. Like, I was 17, 18.
Had she been naked during the whole filming of this movie, this would be probably my number one.
Do you know, apparently they were thinking of having that shower scene in the start as a nude scene, but they didn't want an R rating.
Look, I hate coming onto the podcast and talking about women and like saying like, you know, being sexually suggestive and being like, oh, she had nice tits and or big boobs or whatever. Oh, she's got nice cans and she's hot, man. You know, just the whole classic fucking like creepy dude thing. But like, in all honesty, man, like Angelina Jolie is hot, and this movie is the having a perv on Angelina Jolie is basically the only reason this movie is worthwhile. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to be a pig of a man. I'm not trying to say that that's all she's got going for her. I'm sure Angelina Jolie's got great qualities going for her. But in this movie, there's nothing great going for anything in this movie except for how great Angelina Jolie looks. And I'm not trying to say that in a mean way or a bad way, but it's going to come off that way. And I apologize for that, but that's the truth. So any man that's like, no, wait a second, it is actually a good movie. And if you think about it, Angelina Jolie put in her best ever. I'm gonna be like, just stop with the shenanigans and pretending, man. Like, stop trying to be like, no, but you know, I love women. So do I, man. You know what I mean? But fucking hell, like, don't come in here and be all hero. We all know that this movie is great for a perv, and that's it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think in the early 2000s, there's a reason she was cast for this role. And
no shit. They were not gonna cast Roseanne.
Yeah.
Or Darlene Connors. You know what I mean? Like, but dude, I still answer me the question: how the fuck did this movie get a sequel? Like, I saw the budget they made. I saw the money they made back. That's the answer there as to why they got a sequel. But how did this movie make that much money? I don't understand.
I think there's that weird stage in time where video game movies were getting slightly better, but only because there was at the time the effects in this were decent. Like, looking back on it, it's terrible. But for the early 2000s, it wasn't that terrible. Like, it was reasonable. Actually, now Lord of the Rings was around there. It was okay, just below reasonable.
As much as I think the movie is trash, I'm just gonna ruin my fucking ranking for this week. It was not as bad as Assassin's Creed last week.
Yeah, it was nowhere near as bad as that.
Like, as I said last week in our review for Assassin's Creed, I don't think it's just a terrible video game adapted movie. I think it's possibly one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And I'm not trying to be harsh on it or anything. Like, dude, dead set. Like, it was boring. The dialogue was boring. The story was boring. The action scenes were just meh. There was nothing special about the action scenes. Like, everything about Assassin's Creed sucked. The only thing that this has over it is the fact that I like Angelina Jolie in this movie more than I like anyone in Assassin's Creed, even Michael Fassbender, because Michael Fassbender, I don't think brings much to the movie. Like, even though Michael Fassbender is a great actor and he's good in other movies, I don't think he brought anything to the role of Assassin's Creed at all. At least he was there. At least Angelina Jolie was sort of looked at as Lara Croft for like a decade because of these two movies, and like people, that's all they knew, you know. Whereas, like, yeah, Assassin's Creed, man, like, whew, that was a fucking dude. I wish that movie just never existed, you know. And look, people are going to come on and say, you guys are always so negative, you're always so harsh. Like, dude, we were so harsh on Assassin's Creed. We were the harshest on Assassin's Creed than we've possibly been on any movie so far.
We were nicer to Barbie in the, what was it? In
the pig shoes.
That's the one. We were nicer to that.
Fucking oath. And dude,
we found more good things in that.
And that's the thing, dude, is like people are going to be like, oh, you're so negative, man. But like last week we reviewed, what else did we review? We reviewed Spider-Man. We just did our Spider-Man review. And if you go watch that, we're pretty positive the entire way through. Like, we both liked the movie. We both thought it was good. We both spoke highly of moments. We spoke highly of moments we didn't like too. But that's what we do as reviewers. We're going to critique parts that are good and bad. But like, I'm not going to come in and shit on a movie just for the sake of shitting on a movie. I'm going to come in and shit on a movie when I fucking feel like it really deserves it. And Assassin's Creed and this movie take the cake so far. I'm not looking forward to doing Cradle of Life next week. Like,
yeah,
I can't wait to get over these Tomb Raider movies because, look, if anyone out there is unsure about the newest Tomb Raider in like 2018 movie, and they haven't seen it, like, there's just no comparison. That movie, if I was to like just like think back on it now, like that movie is like a masterpiece of cinema compared to what we just saw with this.
and it has Walton Goggins in it.
And Walter Goggins is everywhere.
Yeah, he's in all the good movies.
Yeah, and it's a shame because I believe that we were supposed to be getting a Tomb Raider 2 from the reboot of 2018, but I think something happened along the lines of that's no longer happening because
I think COVID might have killed it.
Yeah, it's a shame because me and you actually were like, oh, I don't want to watch this fucking movie, and we watched it and we both came and reviewed it. And we were like, you know what, that movie was actually like enjoyable. You know, they did a pretty decent job. It was a lot more following the the structure of what we know as Tomb Raider. It was more true to, I think, the Lara Croft character. The action was better. The action set pieces were bigger. This movie just felt, again, it's not that this movie is such a bad movie because of it being like boring, being like badly acted and all those sorts of things. I find these movies boring, and that's what's bad about these movies. Is they're just boring. There's like, I can't in any part of it sit there and go, oh, this is all right, this part. Oh, this is all right, this part. Like, there might be a couple of shots where I'll be like, oh, that looked okay. And then the rest of it, I'm sitting there just checking my phone, checking my time, checking Messenger, and I'm just like, when a movie can't hold my attention, and it's like to the point of that I can't do this. Like, I can't even like look at the screen any longer because my brain just keeps like my eyes just keep fucking wandering, man. And it's like I can't do it, man. This movie's shit. It must be shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What else do you have to say about it?
Not a lot. It was very cliche in what it did. There was some cool, like, I mean, the lover of Michael Bay explosions and stuff. I mean, the ending was kind of cool, the end action. But yeah, I definitely don't dislike it, but I don't care for it. Like, I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again.
I'm 100% there with you. I will never watch this movie again. And I have a feeling that with our video game movies ranked and reviewed series as we go, there's going to be a lot of movies that we run into that are going to feel the same way.
Yeah.
Like, we sort of only just started really dedicating our time to this video movies ranked and reviewed series and try to keep it going. You know what I mean? We kind of had a break for a while there, but like now that we're going, like, and I look at how many movies we've got ahead of us, dude. Like, I'm dreading a lot of the next like 6 months. I really like. The only reason we chose to do video game movies ranked and reviewed is because the Super Mario Brothers movie's coming out next year, and that was what we were like. Well, what can we rank it against? We can't just rank it against the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993 because look, we don't even know what this new Super Mario Brothers movie is going to really be like, but it's got to be better than 1999. Like that, we may as well just rank it right now. You know what I mean? So we had to rank it against other things, and we were like, well, let's do video game movies, and there are like 40 something, and fuck me dead. You know what I mean? Like Mortal Kombat. Like, are we going to watch GoldenEye 007 because that's a video game movie? Because that game came after the movie. So are we just going to, like, is it going to be the same for, like, reverse? Like, movies that are into video games or what?
Yeah. That opens the door a lot, though, if we do that.
Why? What else has there been?
Well, technically, there's the Spider-Man, first 5 Spider-Man movies would slot into this based on that.
Kind of. Yeah, I guess so. And Amazing Spider-Man as well, eh? And then we'd probably have to start doing things like The Last of Us TV show and shit. Yeah, it becomes messy then. I think we'll just stick to. And that's what we'd be doing. I'm not doing TV shows anyway, but yeah, I'm just like examples. I guess yeah, we'll just do games that have been turned into movies and not movies that have been turned into games because there are a lot of game tie-in movies. So
I just realized we're gonna. I mean, Resident Evil's a bit of a downward spiral, but then I just realized we're gonna have to watch that fucking new movie as well.
dude, I totally forgot about the Resident Evil movies. Fuck hell, man.
I'll stand by the first 2 or 3 aren't bad, but they're not great.
Again, I
First
hate
one was good. I legitimately enjoy that first movie.
again, I hate to sound like a creepy dude, but the only reason those movies are good is because of Mila Jovovich, whatever her name is. Look, man, I think we leave. I think what we need to do after Cradle of Life is start going to the better video game movie adapted movies for a while, just to give us a break from reviewing these garbage trash movies. I think we should come back to things like Mortal Kombat and fucking Resident Evil towards the end. I think we should start watching some more fun video game adapted movies. I know there hasn't been many, but there's some better ones out there than there are like Resident Evil. And that's a good question to ask you because we've done Assassin's Creed, we've done Tomb Raider now, we've going to do Cradle of Life. What are we going for next with video game movies ranked and reviewed?
Only because I thought of it the other day. Why don't we do Rampage? I mean, The Rock is The Rock.
I haven't seen it, and I like The Rock, so I'm down. It can't be worse than these.
No.
And yeah, we got a lot to plan, man, because we've got Avatar coming up, so we're going to do our original Avatar review as well. We've also got to do the Alien movies when we can get a chance. I mean, what else we got to do? There's other shit coming, like we got to think about too, like our worst movies of the year, our best movies of the year. Like we've got so much shit coming out, so we've got a lot of planning to do. Anyways, yeah. What did you think about the plot of this movie? Did you think that the plot was decent and made enough sense, or did you think that this plot was very sort of like subpar?
It didn't really have much of a plot. It felt like it was just slapped together. I mean, I haven't played many of the old Tomb Raider games, so I don't know. I don't know if they're that plot heavy like the newer ones we've had, so it might have been harder to put something together, but I feel that they would have had to have had more substance in this, because, I mean, how have they been going for so long if they haven't?
Dude, they had Croft Manor in it. They have the information about Lara Croft's dad being sort of like an OG archaeologist and shit, and Lara Croft taking on after it and running into all this shit. Like, that's enough substance to work off to make a decent movie. You don't need more than that. You can pretty much go. We've seen Indiana Jones. This is Tomb Raider. It's basically a chick version of Indiana Jones. Let's just make another Indiana Jones but a female version, and it would have been better. Like, they had plenty of material to go off to make this movie better than what it was, and I feel like they just didn't.
They dropped the ball.
It's a shame, man. It's a shame. But again, this was early 2000s. There wasn't a lot of choice with video game movies, right? You know, I mean, like, really, if you think about it, the first successful video game movie adapted movie we've really had was Sonic.
Yeah.
And Detective Pikachu. Like, think about it. Before that, what else have we had? Like, Uncharted was later than those. So, like, before those movies, what did we have that was video game adapted that everyone thought was actually good? I don't think anything.
It's a good question.
I honestly think nothing. I think we had like Doom. We had Mortal Kombat. We had fucking all the fucking Resident Evils. Like, none of those movies are good. So, and you know what? I can't even sit back and go, look, I got to give it a bit of a break because of how long ago it was, how what they had to go off. I just think that this is below average filmmaking in every regard. I think it was just like, let's get Angelina Jolie, let's splash Lara Croft Tomb Raider as the title. It'll sell tickets. You know what I mean?
And it did, apparently.
It must have, because fucking Cradle of Life came afterwards. Fucking hell, man. I'm not looking forward to this shit. And you know what? I'm not a fan of Avatar, and I can't fucking wait for Avatar 2 just because of where we're seeing it and how we're seeing it. We're seeing it in IMAX 3D. That shit's gonna pop. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So, anything else you want to say on this trash of a movie before we continue?
Not really, no.
Cool. So, with that, ALANNIS, are you even prepared today?
Give me a second.
Here we go. ALANNIS.
I don't think this time. I'm good.
So, ALANNIS, what have we what may have we missed in this movie that are like Easter egg references or things that are just not taking a nod at something that is in the Tomb Raider franchise?
There was a couple of things I managed to dig up. A few of them I just looked up because I am not super familiar with the games of this era. But when Lara starts smashing the clock with the hammer, Hillary the butler uses the tray to protect his face. This is a reference to games in which, while exploring Croft Manor, you can shoot at the butler and he protects himself with the tray. Towards the end of the film, when Lara finds a bunch of wool, she says, "Aha! This is a link to the original games when Lara used that phrase whenever she picked up an item." Which I can remember that one.
I can't.
Many of Lara's actions and moves are known and loved by any aficionados of the games. Drawing weapons mid-somersault, swirly dives into water, forward rolls to reverse direction, signature moves of an experienced player. And lastly, Lara's been given several gadgets in the film which are specific nods to certain gameplay features of the Tomb Raider games. Amongst them are the reloader belt or backpack. Yeah, that's the only one that I have in that I looked up. The reloader belt and backpack.
Man.
I wouldn't say that's many gadgets, IMDb.
Fucking if Batman had that many gadgets, he'd be fucked, bro. So with that, let's get into our next segment. It's called Trivia, and it's very similar to what you may have missed, but it's more about facts and things you may not know about the making of the movie, behind the scenes of this movie, and so on. So let's begin with Angelina Jolie agreed to do the first film because of all the locations she would get to visit. She fell in love with Cambodia, leading her to move there and help with a minefield cleanup. It was also where she met and eventually adopted her first son, Maddox.
Ah.
So she basically agreed to do this movie because she got to go on a holiday. Towards the end of the film, where Lara finds a bunch of wolves, she says, "Aha!" That's what you just said. Sorry, I'm just reading as I go. Angelina Jolie did her own bungee ballet, and according to an interview with her on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno in 1990... Oh, sorry, that's not right. Tonight Show with Jay Leno injured her ankle on the first take when landing on top of a chandelier went bad. So part of that scene had to be done over again after she recovered. The picture in the inset of Lara's father's pocket watch is of Linda Carter. In the video game, Lara Croft is a 36 double D. This is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Did you say this or not?
Do it.
In the video game, Lara Croft is a 36 double D, referring to the size of her boobs, obviously. Angelina Jolie is naturally a 36C and was padded to be a 36D for the movie, as it was felt that padding to the original character size would be too unrealistic. That's what I mean. If anyone wants to argue about why Angelina Jolie was cast in this movie, that's your answer. The directors wanted her to stuff her bra because her boobs weren't big enough. I don't feel bad.
2000s, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't feel bad about saying that that's all this movie's good for now. You know. Angelina Jolie trained for 6 months to get into shape for the film. Angelina Jolie took drug tests to test her mental well-being during filming due to concerns about the rumors of drug use and a relationship with Billy Bob Thornton. And we'll go with one more. This movie was filmed at Pinewood Studios in England, where some of the James Bond movies were filmed. Didn't help.
Yeah.
You could have filmed this movie on this could have been the first movie to be filmed in space, and it would have been shit, bro. So, did you hear that Tom Cruise is making a movie, and he's going to be the first person to make a movie in space?
Really?
Yes, like legit.
It'd be a shame if he floated off and froze.
Hey, look, man, you can bag out Tom Cruise all you want. I don't think he's the best either. Like, I think he's a bit of a goose. Like, look, I don't care about offending any of you. Scientology is whack, so go fuck yourselves. Like, if you're a Scientologist and you watch our show, 1 second, and you're offended by us saying that, well, sorry to say, but eat dicks. You're going to be offended. Scientology is fucking stupid. So he's got that going for him. But what I do like about Tom Cruise is he does all his own stunts in every movie, which is badass. Like, I'm talking full on jumping building to building. And he seems like he's a really actually nice, decent person in real life. Like, if you were to bump into him and be like, can I get an autograph or a photo? And he'd be really friendly to you. Like, I've heard him say, like when COVID was going around and shit, and they were filming Mission Impossible and like people weren't being safe with their like COVID things. He was like, this is people's lives. Like, they're coming here to make a movie and they're risking their lives, and you can't do the right thing. Like, do the right thing by the people working here, because if any of them get sick, it's on you. And it's just like, Tom Cruise doesn't have to be that sort of guy. And it just seems like he can believe in what he wants for Scientology. It doesn't make him a bad person. I'm sure he's a nice guy. And yeah, he's a bit weird, but like, I have respect for Tom Cruise.
Yeah, true.
Own stuff. Seems like a nice dude, and you know what? He doesn't fucking force Scientology upon anyone. He is a bit of an idiot when it comes to mental health and all that shit, but look, that's his own personal beliefs. I just think that he seems like he's a rather decent dude, even though he has some whack beliefs, but whatever. So, I don't hate Tom Cruise, and you know what? If he pulls off being the first guy to film a movie in space, and fucking, that's baller, bro. Like, that's an achievement. I wonder what the movie's going to be about. Imagine it wasn't about space. Top Gun, instead of like playing volleyball on the beach, he's on fucking the moon. God, that scene where they play volleyball, sorry.
Yep.
All right, so with that, let's get on to our final segment for this show. And I know people will be like, hey, this episode's running a little bit shorter than usual. And that's because I'm trying to speed up our episodes, because the longer the episode, the longer the back end work is. And lately we have done so much content, and I'm responsible usually for most of the edits and the uploads, and it all becomes a bit too much when the episodes are an hour long and I have like 4 to do in a week or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, quick 35 minutes at most, 40 minutes. We're out of there. Much more easier and manageable. So let's just agree that an hour's too long, I guess, for our reviews.
Yes.
So with that, let's quickly get on to our ranking. Now, each week with video game movies ranked and reviewed, we come together and we rank and review a video game adapted movie. And we compare it to the previous entries we have put into our ranking. And so far we have done Uncharted, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Tomb Raider 2018, Detective Pikachu, Super Mario Bros. 1993, Assassin's Creed, and now Tomb Raider. Lara Croft Tomb Raider, sorry. Make sure you type it in properly, otherwise I ain't coming up. So, our rankings as of last week looked like this. I believe this is the right one. So, our rankings look like this. Mine was number 1, Detective Pikachu. Number 2, Uncharted. Number 3, Tomb Raider 2018. Number 4, Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, wait, this is the wrong one.
Hey, we don't have Assassin's Creed is at the bottom.
Clearly. So, look, fuck it. I'm just going to bring up the current one. This is the new one, I think. I hope this is right now. No. Okay, so that's the that's last week. So last week's, here we go. Number 1, Detective Pikachu for me. Number 2, Uncharted. Number 3, Tomb Raider 2018. Number 4, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Number 5, Sonic the Hedgehog. Number 6, Super Mario Brothers 1993. And number 7, Assassin's Creed. ALANNIS looks like this. Sonic the Hedgehog number 2 at number 1. Tomb Raider 2018 at number 2. Uncharted at number 3. Sonic the Hedgehog at number 4. Detective Pikachu at number 5. Super Mario Brothers at number 6. 1993, that is. And number 7, Assassin's Creed. And our new one looks a little like this. Now, just give me 1 second, ALANNIS, because I have to make sure that I have now brought in the right one. Okay, I'm just bringing it in. Hold on. Give me 1 fucking second, everybody. Don't fucking hold your horses. Don't fucking get all you fucking niggas in a twist or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so currently, now, the ranking looks a little like this. I'm trying to draw it out while I am watching a spinning circle load this shit. ALANNIS, we are about to...
It ever catches its tail?
Dun, 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 dun. Or what about fucking Antiques Roadshow? Alright, so the ranking for this week looks like this. Tom, number 1, Detective Pikachu. Number 2, Uncharted. Number 3, Tomb Raider. Number 4, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Number 5, Sonic the Hedgehog. Number 6, Super Mario Brothers 3. Number 7, Tomb Raider. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, that is. And number 8, Assassin's Creed. And ALANNIS goes, number 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Number 2, Tomb Raider. Number 2018, that is. Number 3, Uncharted. Number 4, Sonic the Hedgehog. Number 5, Detective Pikachu. Number 6, Super Mario Brothers. Number 7, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. Number 8, Assassin's Creed. I think we can all agree that Assassin's Creed deserves to be where it is.
Yes.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us for our video game movies ranked and reviewed episode this week for our review of Lara Croft Tomb Raider from the year 2001. Next week we have Tomb Raider Cradle of Life, Fuck Me Dead. And we also have Spider-Man 2 review coming out next week, alongside in the coming weeks our Avatar review and Avatar Way of the Water review, which will be out the day of the movie being released. So, with that, I have been your host, TOMYE West, and joining me as always has been my co-host, ALANNIS Maximus. Go Web, go.
Shazam.
Up and away to Lara Croft. Never come back. That's what they should have done with her, is like Poochie from Simpsons. Like, I have to go away now. My planet needs me. Thank you guys, and we will see you next episode.